Hey neighbor, welcome back to Beyond ARTV. My name is John, and it's time for another episode of Rapid Reviews, the show where I put 60 seconds on the clock, and then I tear through my thoughts on new singles and EPs. While I definitely have a decent amount to talk about for the month of May 2020, I did see a bit of a slowdown, which is completely understandable given the current circumstances in our world. There is a lot going on, and sometimes the artist isn't going to feel compelled to drop something right now, or maybe they're waiting a little bit, but we still have some very notable releases to talk about from some major artists, and some ones that I feel may have flown under your radar. Rapid Reviews is a show that always needs your support, so if you see something that you like, then do me a favor, take a second, hit the like button, share this out with a friend that maybe is going to be interested in coverage of some band or artist that I cover on the video today. Other than that, subscribe if you're new, and let's get started. Just wanted to start this episode with a quick shout out to the EP I Can Fool Anybody in This Town by the extremely promising rock band Liily. That is Liily with 2 eyes. My viewer Cole actually requested 2 of their songs at a recent request live stream, and it was kind of a love at first sight type of thing for me. If you're into hard rock with a real groove and some gritty vocals that could probably punch your teeth out, then don't sleep on them. The entire EP is great, and I'd suggest starting with the tracks Toro or Sold, and I just kind of wanted to pass off this recommendation for a fantastic young band to open up the video. Simmering meditations fly by without really leaving much of anything with me on the latest single, All Your Love, from the alternative group Sir Sly. It's just kind of draining to me for some reason, and I'm not even entirely sure why. The vocals feel lackluster overall, and the Alleluia parts just felt way too done before. Maybe that's just me considering how much I do love some of their songs, but it's kind of been disappointing to see them drop the ball more over time. Weezer sounded like a whole-ass movie soundtrack out here with Hero, their long-awaited second offering from the 80s hard rock-influenced band Weezer. Let me start by saying that I do love the overall melody and energy of this track. It's pretty fantastic, and that guitar solo that just builds and builds and builds, it's hard not to rock out to. But the lyrics are basic to the point where they stand out, and I'm not sure if this was originally written for a kid's movie soundtrack or something, or maybe Rivers Cuomo just really wanted to write a universal hit that could appeal to everyone during these tough times. I guess what I'm getting at here is that despite its cheesiness, I don't mind the single, even if the end of the game is leagues better. I'll give it a 3.5, it's still worth checking out. Kudos to Machine Gun Kelly for branching out his game, I guess. That's pretty much the extent of my positivity there. I mean, holy shit, this song gets more irritating with each passing listen. If you're gonna try your hand at a new genre, this time it's pop punk for him, then, I don't know, try fucking doing something that hasn't already been done 10,000 times over, my guy! This is phony bullshit posing like it's something new or an homage to the genre or whatever, but it comes out sounding like a terrible Blink-182 B-side that couldn't be bothered to actually do anything other than run out the clock. Literally, what reason does this song have for existing? It doesn't seem to be personal, his vocals are garbage when singing in whatever weird register he's doing, it just doesn't suit him, the style doesn't fit him, and with the production cues that aren't even trying to hide the fact that it's copy and pasting studio tropes that Blink followed in the early 2000s, pass. On a much more positive note, R&B artist Joji continues to expand his horizons on the singles from his forthcoming album, Nectar. What a great album title. I had to give that a shout out because I love that. And I know that I'm a bit late to the game. I will acknowledge it. Forgive me. I heard the songs when they came out, but maybe they were just so good that I forgot to cover them? Okay, that was the worst excuse of all time, but after enjoying Sanctuary last year, we finally got another single in the form of Run in the Winter. This cut is nothing short of incredible. Wow, talk about an artist bettering themselves, improving their voice, and fully realizing their potential. This is fucking it. The guitar solo at the end is equally impressive, so perfect score? Yeah, I'd say it's in the bag for Run. Joji followed this up with Gimme Love, a song that takes a little longer to grow on you, and while I appreciate the somber tone in the intro, it feels a bit more disjointed by comparison, but overall, a good offering. But that outro, my god, that is what ascending to heaven must feel like. Another Song Machine installment comes on the heels of the passing of the legendary Afrobeat drummer Tony Allen, who, alongside rapper SKEPTA, is featured on this track, How Far. What I'm really liking about this project, Song Machine, is that it's forcing me to look outside of a genre box, and at this point, I'm always expecting something else entirely from song to song, and this collaboration delivers on that promise once again. I certainly don't claim to know much about the Afrobeat genre, but it was interesting learning more about Tony Allen's legacy here, and seeing how many people he actually influenced. Even bands like Paramore, Taylor York listed Afrobeat as a huge influence on After Laughter. I love his performance on this cut, and the fact that it was recorded in time before he passed away, but SKEPTA can't go overlooked here either as he tackles the idea of fame and perception. I really think that everyone involved gave the right amount of space for each musician to shine. It was brought to my attention that the former Disney Channel star Ashley Tisdale has a new single out, and I checked it out, wondering what she could possibly be serving up, and let me tell you, it's so much more lame than what I could have expected. Like, wow, the stuttered vocals are fucking unbearable, and the lyrical horse beating about life giving you lemons and just working out your problems, it's not exactly the message I feel we need right now, but okay. Look, I'm just tired of the pretty pretend fantasy world that all of our problems are small and we can just conquer them if we try our very best. This isn't a continuation of the Disney Channel, it's real life, and like I said before, this song is flat out lame. It wouldn't harm a butterfly with its innocuous music to the irritating vocals and recycled lyrics. Let's just give this one the one it deserves and move on. Speaking of lameness from former Disney Channel heartthrobs, the Jonas Brothers continue to dump off wayward material that blatantly trend hops and bores me to tears at the same time. XV is the name of this release because, get this, one song is called X, there's the X, and the other is 5 more minutes. V is the Roman numeral for 5. I feel like someone should be giving a round of applause for that total stroke of genius. I'm sorry if I sound passive-aggressive as hell. I'm just not about the Joe Bros hopping on the Latin pop train for no real reason. I mean, what do they actually add here other than another song on top of the pile of cash grab crossovers? This could have easily just been a solo track from KAROL G. She's not the problem here, it's the Joe Bros mimicking other styles and offering none of their own distinct flair to the conversation. Yet the conversation rolls on with 5 more minutes, an ode to their ladies that feels about as interesting as watching your relatives discuss their lawn care routine at the family reunion. It's hard to get excited about a song like Daisies by Katy Perry, even though it is well-intentioned enough and could certainly be motivating for a certain crowd. It's just so plain. Even the little vocal accelerations where she harps on the word daisies, it feels a little bit less impactful than it should. And the homogenized acoustic guitar doesn't exactly help matters out a whole lot. That being said, I don't hate this at all. It's got a heartbeat driving it, and I look forward to hearing what Katy will bring to the table as she finds herself on the verge of being a mother and getting her music back to the basics instead of the fake woke train wreck Witness was. Light 3, a bit of a mess, but it does show signs that there is life to come on album 6. Poetic musings from the mind of Matthew Bellamy gracefully break the sound barrier of the mind on the frontman's second solo single ever, the first being his contribution to the Game of Thrones soundtrack in 2019. This is simple, straightforward, and reminds me a lot of some of the early Muse ballads that clearly suit his voice well. It proves that a song about a new abnormal in a changing environment doesn't have to be so on the nose with its presentation, and perhaps that's part of the reason why this dark piano ballad is working so well for me. Prepare for a lot of uplifting anthems in the near future. Labels are pushing for them big time as we get through these dark times, and I get it. However, this song Atlas Falls from the rock band Shinedown is a bit of a different story since it's an unreleased track from their 2012 album Amaryllis. It's for charity, and God knows I'm not gonna step on a good cause here because this is purely just a review of the music, not the cause that they're going for. I think that's great, but once again, like so many of the other songs that I've talked about on this episode, it's just a bit too cheesed up for my liking. That's a personal preference, and I'm sorry, but I don't feel motivated in the slightest by Brent Smith singing "Don't Give Up Now" while so many hammed up orchestral arrangements brace the acoustic guitars. It's just there. It exists, and I don't think that I'd ever go back to it. I mean, from an objective point of view as possible, it's like bread and butter, it gets the job done, but I can't go any higher than a light 3 for Atlas Falls. Hey, look who showed up to class again 4 years later. It's the British pop artist Foxes that I gave a lot of praise to back in 2014, but admittedly kind of forgot about after her flimsy sophomore slump, All I Need. Her new one is called Love Not Loving You, and it's quite 80s in nature, a trend that we're seeing sweeping across the airwaves once again in 2020. That's not exactly a bad thing. I love synthpop with a burning passion when it's done well, and I'd say that this single does stand out from the pack, although not nearly as much as, say, the new material from Dua Lipa. The percussion feels unique here, I'll give it that, and I've warmed up to the overall sound a bit more as I've just continued to listen to the track. I just feel like it doesn't fully dazzle, and the catchiness fails to fully engulf me in the feeling of the song. Like 3.5, it is certainly nice to see Foxes active again. Let the record show that I'm pretty much sick of all these remixes of popular songs popping up in an attempt to boost them up the charts, but this one is the exception, not the rule, because, if you'll allow me to be lame for a split second, it rules! Doja Cat has the attitude to carry a song, clearly, and I can see why people are drawn to her as an artist with multiple talents. Obviously, the original In Your Eyes cut from The Weeknd's last album was a banger, but Doja Cat's verse here isn't just some in-and-out 15-second affair. She delivers a playful verse that is super tasteful over that flashy instrumental. It's hard not to relish all the layers found here, so if you're looking for even more Weeknd in your life and you haven't checked out the remix yet, it comes fully loaded and I'll score it a 4.5. That's it for this episode of Rapid Reviews. I hope that you enjoyed what you saw today. If you did, then please do me a favor, support the show by liking the video, sharing it, and subscribing if you happen to be new to the channel. If you want to see last month's episode of all the Rapid Review roundups, then tap this card here, or tap here for another recent video. Socials in the description, and I'll see you soon for more on Beyond ARTV.